everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Friday, January 28th, 2022. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Hope you had a wonderful day. Glad you're tuning in with us this Friday evening as we wrap up another work week. And what a work week it was. When you talk about the weather and the cold and the roller coaster we were on, yeah. But this weekend, it's going to be a little cold out there, but it's slowly going to get warmer. So you've got that. Hopefully you can get outside, enjoy the snow, be some melting, and then we go back into some more cold air next week. But hey, we'll take it. I did see. I follow a lot of weather things. It's one of my many hobbies, and there is a chance, Andrew. There's a chance that there could be some type of snow Tuesday, Wednesday, with measurable snow. Just saying. So by the time we get next week, it'll probably be sunny and 80. So that's why I'm saying it. I'm hoping to jinx it. Yet I do want snow because there's some winter activities I want to take part in. So hit or miss thing, but whatever. I hope you have a good weekend no matter what you do. Just get out there and have some fun because you live in Wisconsin, the best state ever. Let's get into this. We got a good show coming up. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew McFadden will be here today on the show. We'll be talking about Monday's public information meeting discussing on-street parking regulations. We'll break down what to expect as we have that coming up next week. Plus, we check in with our star, Kimberly. She doesn't like when I say it, but I'm going to say it every time. She'll be here today, and she'll give us our council recap as well. So I'll look forward to that. But first, let's get you out with some headlines here. And we start with that public meeting to discuss the on-street parking regulations. This is coming up on Monday, January 31st. You can tune in at 6 p.m. To 7:30 p.m. or stop by in person, whatever works for you. And this purpose of this meeting is to review current parking regulation issues observed and discuss proposed changes to improve compliance and increase responsiveness to public requests. There will be time allocated for questions and answers, and community members are encouraged to provide their insights and feedback. Online attendance is encouraged, or the city council chambers will be available for in-person participation of the Dane County Public Health orders. In-person attendees will be required to wear a mask or face covering for this event. No formal common council or city committee action will take place during this meeting. If you got any questions or comments, you can email our friend Andrew McFadden at andrew.mcfadden@fitchburgwi.gov. Or again, you can tune in and watch this meeting. We'll check in with Andrew coming up so you know more about what's happening at this public information meeting. Mayor's proposed ARPA TID closure investment plan and schedule is coming up, or it's coming up and it's out there. Should say that in the right order. The mayor's proposed ARPA TID closure investment plan is now available on our website for viewing. That plan is at fitchburgwi.gov. You can go under our finance page to find the investment plan and schedule. And the schedule looks like this. Starting next week, February 2nd, there'll be a special finance committee to discuss the mayor's proposed plan. That starts at 6 p.m. And then a public hearing on the 8th for common council during the common council meeting on the mayor's proposed investment plan. Then there'll be amendments coming in from the different or amendments from the Alders Committee of the Whole meeting. Discuss those on the 23rd, and then March 22nd we have a public hearing on the amendments, and then discussion and adoption of that plan on March 22nd. And more information for this is online at fitchburgwi.gov. All right, Wisconsin Relay. Have you heard of this? This is a great group. They help take care of a lot of different things, but the one we're going to focus on today is if you have problems with speech disability. So do you know or know someone that has a speech disability? If so, we have the perfect service so that you can communicate on the phone with confidence via speech-to-speech. After they call 711, the communication assistant, CA, will repeat your spoken words to the other party as needed for clarity. And not only does Wisconsin Relay offer that, they offer a lot of different services here, and we've got the list for you on the different phone numbers and things that they do take care of. So all you got to do is dial 711 for any of these services, or use the 1-800 number as listed. But they've got voice carryover, hearing carryover, speech-to-speech, the one we were just telling you about, Telebrite, Spanish and Spanish Relay, Spanish-English Relay, and a very another other numbers that you can use in services there. Encourage you to check out the website. We'll share the link to the website today when we post up the headlines. So you can check out their services. It is Glaucoma Awareness Month. Did you know that, Andrew? Well, he wears glasses, so I don't know if he does or doesn't, but you should. Take time to recognize the signs and symptoms of glaucoma. It is the second leading cause of blindness in the United States, and most people with glaucoma are 40 or older. Andrew, we're getting old, so we definitely need to pay attention to this. Make sure you can say my healthy eyes, and you can find more information on this. Department of Health Services Wisconsin, and has more information about this. So if you're concerned about your vision, great place to start maybe. So this has been your eye-opening story. Anybody? Wisconsin COVID-19 update. Here it is from yesterday. If you already been or haven't already gotten vaccinated or boosted, you are encouraged to do so. Follow and continue to follow public health guidance so you can stop the spread. And as a case-wise, the 7-day average is at 7,958 new confirmed cases, 985 probable cases, and 33 new reported deaths. It's very unfortunate to hear. Percent of by test is at 22.7%, and you've got your vaccines administered here. Still doing good. We can do better though. Let's keep it up. And unfortunately, we're still in the critically high for all of our counties in Wisconsin. So hopefully those numbers will start to drop. We have seen some of those numbers drop. So hopefully we've got over the hump. We still got to continue to do our part. And COVID-19 has a major impact on people's mental health. And, I think about this when we talk about it all the time. It's important to talk about all different aspects of health, not just COVID, but COVID is definitely can bring some depression on or other things. So COVID, if you have feel depressed or whatever the case may be, you're just down about all this, here's some things that you can do. Talk to somebody you trust about how you feel. Seek professional help. Try to keep up with activities that you normally enjoy. Stay connected with friends and family. Stick to regular eating and sleeping habits, and try to focus on the positive side of things. And I know it might not be as clear to read here on the screen, but we will share this story that talks a little bit about depression and things that you can do. And it's not just COVID. I mean, there's been a lot of things that can bring us down from time to time. And it's good to talk about it and seek help. So I like to get these in there when I can. And we all got to love each other, Andrew, right? That's what it's all about. Take care of one another. How do I say that? One another? There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, that does it for me. Let's take a break. Coming up next, I'll be talking with Andrew McFadden about our public information coming up on parking regulations. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey, boss. Okay.
Said I'm fine.
Me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. We were underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Public Works Department, our friend Andrew McFadden. And you're like, wait, is this a construction update? Oh no, my friends, we're still in wintertime. We'll catch up with Andrew real soon on that. But we're talking about public meeting on street parking regulations. Andrew, welcome back to the show. First off, how are you doing this fine January 2022?
Hey, Jeremy. Pretty good. It's been a while.
It has been a while, yeah. I'm used to talking to you when it's warm, so this is definitely a different atmosphere or space. But we're going to be talking about this public meeting coming up on Monday, January 31st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Andrew, set the scene up here and why we're having this public meeting to talk about on-street parking.
Sure. Yeah. So this is a culmination of a few different issues that just came up in the last year since I started with the city. So mainly, last winter we had some issues around the city, primarily in areas where we have higher parking occupancy on street, of folks maybe not knowing that they have to move their vehicle every day to the other side of the street for winter parking regulations between November 15th and March 15th. And so because of that, both last year and starting again this year, we've had a few streets that aren't getting cleared as well as we'd like. And, that prevents emergency vehicle access and, folks getting through there. So we really just want to talk to folks. I think it's always a great reminder that, yep, we do have alternate side parking for the whole city, and then talk about some of the issues we've had, how other cities do it, and then maybe some potential solutions that might be able to help. Similarly, some of the other issues that came up on the prohibited parking side, some places on the city over time, we the signs might not match the ordinance, or might have duplicate ordinances. So we just want to start cleaning that up, potentially add some flexibility in the ordinance so that we can be a little bit more responsive for folks. But really, we just want to talk about all the on-street parking ordinances we have in the city, talk about what's working, what's not working, and then hear from residents on what they like to do to improve it.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity for residents to come in, comment, ask questions, and more. What are some options out there for winter parking? So what are some of the other municipalities around us doing when it comes to that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's lots of different options. Certainly by and large, folks around in the region do alternate side parking. Madison does designate a snow emergency zone kind of in their downtown core. That limits that alternate side parking except for when snow emergencies are called. Some cities restrict all parking in the winter, so that's definitely kind of on the more extreme options. Some don't do it and except in snow emergencies, so for the whole city. So there's a lot of flexibility. If you get even further away, Minneapolis does like a 3-day, they one side, they the other side. I feel like there are lots of different variants. We don't want to get too far out of what everybody else does, just so that we can be consistent. But yeah, I was very surprised when I started looking into it of how many different variations there can be.
And why is it important that we do make the space for the plows to come through? Like why? Because they're like, well, the snow's going to melt eventually, but what
Sure.
really are we talking about here?
Yeah, and I think this year is a good example of we haven't had a ton of snow at one given time, but with some of the cold, persistent temperatures, that snow starts to accumulate after a couple different snow events, and all of a sudden, you're if folks aren't moving, they're getting probably plowed in, and so that's a lot harder to get out. I know I've pushed out a few vehicles myself, just trying to help folks get out of some of those snowed-in spots. As well as it starts to restrict the road width overall, so that those snow berms just keep getting wider and wider, and then at a certain point, emergency vehicles have a tough time getting down there. So I think really those are the main. It's a balance between making sure folks have some place to park, but also we want to make sure the roads are clear and the parking spaces are clear, so people can get in and out conveniently.
And people will have a chance to speak at this meeting. So you're going to talk and discuss about the issues. But the really important is we want to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure we will bore everybody with a close reading of all the ordinances, but really most of the time will be reserved for folks that, talk about specific problems. We might not get into very specific examples, but it's always good to kind of color the policy, color the ordinance with the real world examples of where it works and where it doesn't. And so We'll have a few of those. Feel free to bring them to us. And, I think really, we're just hearing, what's working, what's not, and potentially with some of the solutions we're offering, if folks think that might help.
Andrew, after this meeting, what will be those next steps then? So you're going to get a lot of great input. What will you do moving forward here, and what will the progress or the data that we collect? How do you proceed?
Yeah, sure. Yep. So we're definitely having this as kind of the first step. If necessary, we can definitely open up a survey for folks if that's, we like to have different mediums for folks to kind of engage with the city on this. And then I guess the steps after that would really be, we'll take back the information we receive. And then we do have a notify me page for parking. So if folks are interested, they can sign up for that. And then we'll take what we hear and go forward to council meetings for ordinance changes and kind of to clarify that with council. And so I'm sure that there'll be kind of a back and forth as we kind of fine tune this, but definitely from folks who are interested, if you sign up for that notify me, we'll push out when we would go to council, and then there would be a public comment period during that process.
Fantastic. Well, it's great information, Andrew. If people want to learn more, ahead of this meeting, we've got all the information online for how to sign up and take part in this meeting, whether it's virtual or not. But if people want to learn more about parking regulation, just general information, where can we find that?
Yeah, definitely the website. If you look online, you type parking Fitchburg, we have a lot of great information on there. We also have a lot of winter parking pages that kind of explain the alternate side parking and kind of what that's all about. So definitely check out the website, and feel free, if you have any specific questions that aren't answered there, feel free to email me, Andrew.McFadden at Fitchburg. I'm happy to answer or call, happy to clarify things with folks to make sure that everybody can park on street, where they like, where they can, and that our roads are nice and clear for us.
All right, Andrew, always a pleasure talking with you. We'll continue to get the word out on this meeting, and look forward to hearing from you this summer.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Stay safe out there. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your star, your Fitchburg star, Kimberly from the Fitchburg Star. Kimberly, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. We're doing good.
If you watch the promo for today's show, I totally called you out on the promo too. We always say, coming up next on tomorrow on Talking Fitchburg, I totally went for it. It's our star, the star.
I let you get away with it.
I appreciate it.
Let's say it that way.
All right. We've got a couple things to talk about today as we look back in the week, and we start with Wednesday night's COW meeting. We had some discussions about possibly changing the name, a suggestion to change the name of City Hall. What do you know?
Yeah, so Committee of the Whole, also known as COW, which I think is a great name for a committee in Wisconsin. But so they had a discussion about whether to rename City Hall after former Mayor Francis Huntley Cooper. So about an hour and a half of the meeting, it was an hour and a half meeting. So you had about a third of it with public comment where pretty much everyone was very in support of renaming the City Hall from public comment standpoint. But then you had about an hour of discussion from alders. And so they're kind of split into two camps where you had a couple of alders who are in favor of renaming City Hall for her. And two of those, Alder Joe Maldonado and then Alder Julia Arata, they're going to plan to bring forward a resolution at some point to rename City Hall. The exact timing is not determined, but we can expect that in the future. And then we had two other alders who were a little bit on the fence about renaming City Hall, not because of Frances Huntley Cooper specifically, not because of her or anything she has done or her legacy, but more so just they're unsure about renaming a building such as City Hall that, you know, they believe is representative of democracy, the people's house, for one person. And so a couple of examples that were used were the naming of Fitchburg way back when it was founded. And then another example was given about the FBI national headquarters and how that has the name of the founder, but that founder has also done some kind of sketchy things that, you know, Alder Jim Wheeler, who brought it up, doesn't necessarily agree with. So that's kind of where alders sit for now. We didn't hear a whole lot of opinions from Alder Randy Udell. He was the council president. He was running the meeting. We didn't hear a whole lot of opinions from the mayor either. So, but I'm sure we'll hear more opinions as they bring it forward in future months. So.
Absolutely. And if you missed that meeting, we got that up on Fact TV for your viewing pleasure, and you can watch all the there was a lot of great ideas out of that meeting. So check that out for sure. All right, switching over to the ARPA / TID closure investment plan. We put that out on the website this week, and the schedule is moving forward, and you have the details.
I do. So the ARPA investment plan, I got scolded for calling it a spending plan before this. So that plan is out, and it's got a couple of priorities listed for what they would like, or what Mayor Aaron Richardson would like to use the money for. It is not something that is set in stone. It's looking a little bit like the budget process that they do every fall for the operational budget, but it's just a plan. So it's not going to necessarily lock anyone into anything. All it is it's direct city staff to know what the council's priorities are. So we can also expect some amendments from alders as well, but currently listed out in that proposal are priorities. Reducing COVID-19 exposure is the top one. That'll come in installing permanent particle barriers and replacing the floor in the employee workout room. And then other priorities include investing in city infrastructure, specifically stormwater, so that they can keep stormwater rates lower, since that is a different portion of taxes. As well as street resurfacing, especially looking at those areas in the town of Madison that we're about to inherit, and seeing where they would like to spend those dollars that wouldn't necessarily fit into the operating budget, as well as some things that are were earmarked in the 2022 budget. There were lots of different things that got earmarked. Some of them were the McKee Farms Park tennis courts, fencing and resurfacing. That has been kicked down the road for quite a while in the last few budgets. So Fact TV equipment to facilitate hybrid meetings and events. You might care a little bit about that one, Jeremy, but and then there's other replacements as well, or other spending as well that they would like to do with that money, such as body camera replacements for the police department, South Stoner Prairie neighborhood planning, and then native plantings in Fitchburg parks. I could probably bore you with an hour with all the things listed in this plan, but those are just some of the things that are currently in this proposal. They might not stay there, considering the alders are going to probably add some amendments, but the important thing to know is that as this process moves on, the final vote is anticipated for the last meeting in March. And so don't quote me on this, but I think off the top of my head, it might be March 22nd. I'll have to check. I don't have a calendar in front of me. But
well, I'll go ahead and cover you here, because that's what a good reporter does. The public hearing happens on the March 22nd, as well as discussion to the amendments and the adoption of said plan. So if you are interested, all of that is online at fitchburgwi.gov. And of course, a full breakdown online through the Star. Finally, you're really getting into my territory here, so I'm going to let you get away with it this last time, but for good reason. COVID-19, the last time you talked with us, the numbers were really high, and they're still high. I mean, 72 counties in Wisconsin are in critical high as of the day we're taping this, but numbers are getting better, and you're here to bring us good news.
Right, because so 2 weeks ago, I was very, very doom and gloom, like, oh my gosh, we've never seen cases this high, which was true. Some of that was definitely caused though by a delay in reporting. So even though, you know, we had 1,200 cases reported 2 weeks ago, not all of those might have been reported in those 2 weeks. It might have just been a backlog that the state was working through because there's a huge Omicron spike. So better news today. COVID numbers are down by 17% across the county, which is always promising. And within Fitchburg itself, there's only been 170 new cases in the last 5 days. So I know that sounds high, that 170 cases is a lot of people, but when you consider it to 1,200, it's definitely a better outlook than we had. And they're also seeing a slight decrease in hospitalizations, which is a really important thing for us to keep in mind as we continue to trudge through this pandemic. Is even though the Omicron variant is less severe, you look at the law of big numbers, and logically, the more people who get infected, the more people who are going to need additional help and hospitalization. And we want to keep those hospitals free and clear so that people who have other ailments can actually have a bed. So good news. Hopefully it will continue. This is going to sound really gross, but if you look at the Madison Metropolitan Sewage District, and you see the amount of COVID-19 that is being filtered out of our number 1 and number 2, those numbers have continued to go down. So hopefully, hopefully the proof is in the poop.
Don't you do that. I'm cutting you off right there.
Hopefully.
How dare you bring up a number 1 and number 2 on this show? And that's some pretty good investigating wording. So it's going to tee this one off here. You can find more at the Dane County Public website, or call the expert, Kimberly, for more detailed information. Kimberly, always a pleasure to check in with you. We'll check back in next month. Stay safe out there and stay away from COVID.
I will try, and everyone else in Fitchburg should too, as best you can. So also, you can find stories on fitchburgstar.com, because I was waiting for that.
No, I wasn't giving you that opportunity this time. More information can be found at the Star's website and social media. Kimberly, always a pleasure. We'll see you again next time. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching TF.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for the day. I want to thank Andrew McFadden from earlier helping us out in talking about the parking regulation meeting coming up on Monday. You can tune in here to Fact TV to watch that meeting. Plus, Kimberly, our star of the Fitchburg Star, keeping us up to date on what's happening at the Common Council meetings and more. And like I said, I'm just going to keep picking on her for that because it makes her annoyed. And that's it, period. I hope you have a fun and safe weekend, everybody. Take Fact TV with you if you'd like.